This right here is a critical moment. The judge is basically warning him, if you ignore your lawyer, you're gambling with your future. Plea deals are often the safest option, so the real question is, why would someone risk going to trial when the stakes are this high?
If you want to go to trial and not accept a plea agreement, then listen to your attorney and do what he's telling you to do.
Okay, so basically it's completely off the table right now, the plea?
Yeah. This is, stop talking. This is clause numbers 24 DCCR 1500, 24 DCCR 1614, 1615, 25 DCCR 0436, and you're trailing Hill. And Mr. Hill's charged, go through this, in cause number, the first one, 1500, with obstruction or retaliation. Do not do that again. Who's in here for him? All right. Ma'am, can you move over to that back corner so that he cannot see you and be distracted? Thank you for being here. Mr. Hill, you just don't know how to behave, do you? Saying you're sorry doesn't matter. This is nonsense. Since we were here last time, I don't even know how many more pages of the nonsense that you've been doing in our jail.
It's gaslighting. It's solicitation.
Okay.
And I've been trying my best to stay out the way. I've been getting bullied over the microphone. I have inmates, they're encouraging the inmates to harass me, call me punk, alpha, profit, plenty of things. Gangster player, mad.
Yeah.
Mortar. Man, I'm just trying my best to stay out the way.
Okay.
I got a job, I got a home, an actual home. I don't stay in apartments or anything like that. My mama actually owns rent houses. And you know what I'm saying? I'm actually trying to take care of the family business. And my dad's 76 years old.
Yeah.
My best to stay out the way.
Well, it doesn't look like you are.
Yeah, it's tough in that facility. It's a war zone.
So one of the time you're running back and forth, playing like a little kid in the day room. Who made you do that? Are you allowed to do that in the jail?
In the rec room, yes.
Okay, so are you allowed to do it in the other room?
I have a one-man cell in the facility.
Are you allowed to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Notice what's happening here. The judge is laser focused on personal accountability. She's shutting down every excuse and forcing yes or no answers. In court, this matters a lot, because juries and judges don't reward excuses, they look for responsibility. So ask yourself, is he helping his case right now, or making it worse?
You are?
I'm running freely throughout the facility and anything, but I do work out a lot.
So are you, who made you dash the floor with water?
Everyone in that facility has a water
Who
bottle.
made you dash the floor with water?
I'm not the only one.
Listen to my question.
No one did.
No, but you did it on your own,
Yeah,
right?
it
Nobody's, stop talking when I'm talking. I'm going to ask you some yes or no questions. So nobody's making you do those things, right? Nobody bullied you into dashing water, right? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, hold on a second. What about why do you continue to make comments to the female officers out there? Why do you think that's okay after you've been told not to do that?
Sitting in the field all day long, man. When I see them women, I get to flirting. I'm a little boy. I admit that.
Because you're a lover boy?
Yes, ma'am.
So you understand that part of all of this trouble and you not being able to get your cases worked out is because you can't follow that rule.
Yeah, I hate that.
Did somebody bully you into being that way to those officers?
In a manner, you know what I'm saying? When
Oh, yeah?
I'm dealing with these stressful inmates, you know what I'm saying? I love to be around mom.
Okay.
My mama boy.
Judge, based on his Sunday night activity, I'm pretty sure there'll be a new case coming.
Yeah.
I've got to call into the investigator for the sheriff's department to find out
Okay.
when they'll bring that over. But I would ask that we go ahead and set these in for trial.
And we've already talked before about the fact that everything that's happening, a jury is going to know about all that. You understand that? Okay. And do you think that's going to help you or hurt you when a jury hears how you're behaving in the jail?
When it comes down to video footage and how I explain it, I think my efforts will be pretty good.
You think so?
Yes, ma'am.
You think. So, let's go through real quick before we do this rejection. And cause number 241500, you're charged with obstruction or retaliation. Is that a third?
That was the third, Your Honor.
Third-degree felony, which means if you're found guilty, the range of punishment is between 2 years and up to 10 years. Do you understand? And cause number 24 DCCR 1614, you're charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And second-degree felony offense, which means the punishment range is between 2 years and up to 20 years in prison if you're found guilty. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And cause number 24, DCCR 1615, you're charged with aggravated robbery, which is a first.
This is the turning point. The judge literally says it was an excellent deal, and now it's gone. That means he's heading to trial facing multiple serious felonies and potentially decades in prison. No more safety net. So here's the big question, did he just make the biggest mistake of his life?
Degree felony, which means if you're found guilty, the range of punishment is a minimum 5 years up to life in prison. Do you understand? And then in 250436, you're charged with burglary of a habitation, which is a second-degree felony. The punishment range in that is between 2 years and up to 20 years if you're found guilty. Do you understand?
Correct.
I have here on the computer a plea bargain rejection that shows that the district attorney's office has made an offer, if you wanted to enter a plea of guilty, for a 10-year term in prison on a lesser offense of robbery.
Of robbery and dismissal of the other charges.
You have every right to reject that.
It was an excellent deal, but
That's fine. I just want you to know that after today, I will accept no plea agreements. A jury is going to decide, because I don't know that I even agree with this. So today's the day. If you want to take it, fine. If not, you're going to trial. A jury will decide if you're guilty or not. And then if you are found guilty, that jury will determine what your punishment is. And is that what you want to do?
all these charges going to be on one trial?
They don't necessarily have to be, because you've got 3 different dates.
Your Honor, the robbery and aggravated assault are the same offense day. I'd expect to try them together.
Okay, so what can happen is you will, it sounds like the aggravated assault and the aggravated robbery will be tried together. It's important that you understand also, if you're found guilty on those, then the state can also try you later on one or both of the other cases. If you're found guilty on those, because the offense dates are different dates, there is the possibility that any sentence that a jury gives you could be stacked or run consecutively. Do you understand? Okay. All right, we'll get it set for trial. Go back with the bailiff. Good morning. Are you Derek Ardwan? And Mr. Ardwan was previously in court in cause number 25, DCCR 0350, entered a plea of guilty to the second-degree felony offense of sexual assault. The agreement was for a cap of 6 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. I have received the pre-sentence report. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that?
We have, Judge.
Any additions or corrections?
None from defense, other than something I'll clear up on argument.
Okay. Go ahead.
Well, Judge, if you review the PSI, it's several times Mr. Ardwan does take responsibility for what happened, for his actions. I know there was some talk from the PSI writer that seems that he was minimizing or still deflecting some of his responsibility in what happened. I did speak with Mr. Ardwan about that. He said that toward the end of their interview, he understood more what the PSI was saying, because there was 2 people from probation there at the time.
Yes, sir.
And so as the second person started to intervene, he understood. And so he totally takes responsibility for what happens. He understands the situation. He shouldn't have been in, him or the complainant, during that situation. He was going through a situation with his girlfriend. It wasn't his wife. It's not his actual stepdaughter. His girlfriend, and started getting more attention from the stepdaughter than he should have, and he went along with it. Shouldn't have, but he did. It wasn't a situation with someone underage or anything like that. She was definitely of the same age. Being in a relationship with him, they started hanging out a lot more, almost in a dating scenario, if you will. And then it escalated to the point where they worked together that evening. Nothing of force, anything was happening. To my client, understanding at the time, he thought everything was consensual that was going on. It wasn't until later, until this investigation, that he realized her stance or argument of her being intoxicated to the point where she couldn't give consent, legal consent or anything during the activity. I would like to point out with him, when you look at his criminal history, he has not had any type of criminal history since 2001. So since he was in trouble that one time, or that last time there, he has done everything he can to try to keep his life on track and not revert back to any of the old activities he had when he was younger. My understanding is, he does have a lot of family support. I've been in touch with several members of the family that have reached out to me. My understanding is that the mother of the complainant is still very supportive of it. And to the point where, even though he moved out and was away from her and everything like that, she still wanted to pursue their relationship and work on their issues. He is asking that the court consider community supervision in the situation. I think it definitely could be appropriate here in a situation where he's a registered sex offender at this point, so he would be able to get the attention that he needs through any sex offender classes or through their registration, as well as I think that there's several vehicles available through probation that could help with any other additional issues that he does have. So at this point, Judge, we are asking the court to consider deferred adjudication in the situation with Mr. Hardwine.
Thank you. Ms. Malfino?
Judge, although the PSI reflects that they were unable to contact the complainant, the notes in the case reflect that our office has, and she seemed cooperative in wanting to go forward with the prosecution based upon that, based upon the nature of the offense, the circumstances that even Mr. Lewis himself has described with respect to, she may be considered a legal adult, but the difference in their age is quite substantial. Obviously, he took advantage of the fact that she was making bad choices with respect to drug and alcohol use and got herself in this position. So on her behalf, Judge, the state would argue for the 6 years under the cap, but deferred enforced discretion force.
Thank you.
And if I just may confirm, in case the question arises, he has already completed the sex offender registration paperwork.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think we did that at the plea. Mm-hmm.
Just check.
Thank you. So I guess my thought is on this, I don't disagree with Ms. Malfino that prison time isn't necessarily warranted. It sounds like you got yourself in a predicament that you're way old enough and grown up to know better. She wasn't a minor. There was a lot of things that looked like they were consensual up until a certain point where y'all probably, it sounds like we're both so intoxicated you clearly didn't know what was going on. 6 years, you're out in a few years. There's no treatment. There's none of that I think would be helpful. And so I think, to me, the better and maybe even more difficult thing for you is a probation, because this type of probation is not going to be easy. So what I'm going to do is find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, I'm going to defer all proceedings and place you on probation for 10 years. There's two things that are, well, let me finish and then I'll go through some other stuff. I'm going to order a $1,000 fine. I'm going to order that you follow all of the rules and conditions of probation, and that includes entering and successfully completing a licensed sex offender program. To successfully complete the program, you also have to admit what you did. So it's very important that you get in that program, you take responsibility for your part in what happened and how you got to this position so that you're never in this position again. You're obviously already signed the paperwork and understand that you will be required to register as a sex offender. If you don't register timely, then that's a violation of your probation plus another felony offense. And so you've got to take care of everything you're supposed to while you're on this probation. So the good thing about that is it's a deferred probation and there's not a conviction. The good thing for me and potentially Ms. Malfino later is that by doing this deferred probation, that cap of 6 years is off the table. Okay, that's over today. I didn't give you prison time, so that's gone. If you violate this probation, I then have the entire punishment range, which is 2 to 20 years in prison if you violate. So there's no coming back and saying, I want the 6 years or I violated and I've got the whole range. I'll look back at this and I'm sure I'll be reminded at what their argument was, and it's not likely to be 6 or less. You understand? So I'm going to hand you the trial court certification that shows this was an agreement that I followed, and so you've waived your right to appeal. Now, obviously, a part of this probation is that you have absolutely no contact and no communication with the victim. And so if there's some relationship that you're still having with her mother, it cannot be at a place where she is. You cannot go to wherever she's working. If you go into a restaurant and then she comes in after you, you're the one who has to leave. It's up to you to remain away and not have any contact or communication. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right.